to the motherfucking relay. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Kind of process that no boxer likes to lose, but how has this bounce back period been for yourself?
Do you know what? I actually dealt with it really well. I think for me it was something that was, I don't want to say needed because no one wants to lose, but I just think in terms of my progression, my development, my mindset, me as an individual and as an athlete, I did need that. I feel like it's pushed me into the direction that I'm meant to be in. So yeah, I'm well done to Emma for getting that win over me. But I'm happy that I always say trust the process and everything happens for a reason, and I'm very blessed and grateful that that did happen for me, because I just feel and believe that the trajectory that I'm on now is just going to skyrocket.
Suffering a loss so early in her career could be a blessing in disguise for young Shannon Ryan. Gives her a better idea of where she's weak and what she needs to work on and what she needs to do differently moving forward so that what happened in the Emma Doolin fight doesn't happen again. She's set to return to action Friday the 13th of next month at the York Hall in Bethel Green against an opponent that has yet to be announced. Fighters that suffered losses early in their careers.
Some of the greats, like the late great Henry Armstrong, Bernard Hopkins, he suffered a loss early in his career. Juan Manuel Marquez.
He did too. And so has Shannon Ryan. Sports professional record of 7-1 with no recorded knockouts, not yet, but she is a hard puncher if you've seen her.
Seems to be a bit of a gas tank issue there. You can chalk that up to inexperience. The girl only has 8 professional bouts.
In tandem with her musculature, her physique, that much more muscle eats up that much more oxygen in a boxing match as a fight progresses. So the more fights that she has moving forward, the more that issue will improve.
Resolve.
Still seems to be with Matchroom, as this upcoming show in December is a Matchroom show, just on a smaller scale, a local scale.
I wondered about that.
Did losing that fight to Emma Doolin in June of this year cost her relationship with Matchroom? And apparently it hasn't, nor should it. It's one fight. She can rebuild in what is a very deep super flyweight division where 3 of the 4 champions there are set to return to action very soon. Mexico zone Irma Garcia, Mexico zone Ashley Gonzalez, Japan zone Mizuki Hiruta are all set to see action in the coming weeks. And it's important that they do, as I anticipate things are going to pick up relatively quickly in the super flyweight division in the coming calendar year.
Inconvenient truths.
Shannon Ryan is a talented fighter, and I see a champion in her, but not for the next 3 to 4 fights. I would not put Shannon Ryan in a title fight for at least another year or another 3 to 4 fights. Irma Garcia and Ashley Gonzalez are vastly more experienced than she is in the paid ranks. So is Clara Lescurat to a lesser extent.
And you can't rush this. A fighter's development?
She has to be allowed to develop properly before she so challenges for an alphabet title, lest you want to see her suffer another loss. She's only ever fought for 10 rounds, 2 times in 8 professional bouts, and she needs to get those sea legs to learn to swim in those deep waters.
Fine-tune her technique as well as pace herself throughout the course of a fight, as Shannon Ryan has a propensity for coming out hard and fast in the early rounds, which could see her gassing out mid to late. These are things she's got to work on.
Who is she supposed to fight for the next 3 to 4 fights?
Pick your poison. She's in a very deep division. There are ample contenders there to go around. Enough that you can keep Shannon Ryan busy for the next 3 to 4 fights while she develops.
This is pivotal, and you shouldn't rush it. If you want to give her the best chance to win against one of the 4 champions at this weight, you have to allow her to develop. Otherwise, you're just setting her up to fail.
The super flyweight division is not like one of those barren weight classes above welterweight. It's not like junior middle. It's not like middle or super middle or anything above it. There's a lot happening at super flyweight. There's a lot of talent there to make it.
She needs more bring along, i.e., those eggs need more bacon. Now look for the ring return of Shannon Ryan Friday the 13th of next month against an opponent that has yet to be announced, and we'll talk more about it as the fight date approaches.
I've said it multiple times. Look, I went into New York. I went into his backyard. Now, if he wants to get that lick back, if he wants to get that, try to get that win back, you got to come see where I am. Come and feel that hostile territory. Now, it makes sense, no problem. For me, I fight him anytime. We hate each other. There is no love there at all. It is bad blood, and if he walked right now outside of my gym or try to come into my gym, it'd be bare knuckle.
Damn.
Jeez.
Yeah,
But again,
my father can go at his father as well. No problem. We've already beat them 2-0.
Was former unified champion George Cambodia entertaining the possibility of a second fight with Teofimo Lopez now that George is making his ascent to the super lightweight division en route to his Matchroom debut? Teofimo Lopez responded by saying, "We sent reasonable offers to fight to both teams, Haney and Team Kambosos. Both have declined. If you don't believe it, ask Top Rank Boxing, ask Bruce Trempler. You bums on that Witsec."
A Twitter user that goes by the name D-Lane queried, "What is a quote-unquote reasonable offer?" To which Teofimo responded, 2.4 million guaranteed and 55-45 split on the pay-per-view shares.
George Kambosos, catching wind of this, responded by saying, "There's your reasonable offer. You're a fugazi. Like I said in 2021 and like I say now in 2024. What reasonable offer? You know nothing about money. Pay-per-views or selling tickets, haha. You fight in wedding ballrooms these days. You don't know if you're coming or going. If you really want it, like I've always said, you know where to find me. Bring your daddy too. We already 2-0 against you clowns. Your bosses don't respect you anyway, just like I didn't respect you and manhandled you." To which Teofimo responded, "Then agree to our fight, or you're just going to use this since you lost the last 4 fights and surrendered to Vasyl Lomachenko." To which George responded, "Hello, little bitch. Do you have your passport ready? Have you agreed on that? Have your balls grown a little? Happy anniversary, too. 3 years since I ruined your life. Haha. Loma, he fought you with one arm. Don't fool yourself. The Loma that fought me would have done you in 5 rounds.
I agree.
Just being honest. The version of Loma that Teofimo fought was fighting injured, and he had surgery for that injury right after the Teofimo Lopez fight.
It's not excuses, and there was nothing fake about it.
So what about this supposed offer Teofimo says that he made to George Kambosos for a rematch or Devin Haney? What about all of that?
I don't believe him.
Wasn't Teofimo reported to be trying to find a way out of his existing deal with Top Rank?
Yeah.
The same Teofimo who now says that he sent out offers to George Kambosos and Devin Haney. When did you send out those offers? Are you talking about something recent?
If he is, I really don't believe him.
There was a plan in place to put Teofimo Lopez in the ring with Brian Norman in September.
Teofimo bailed on that plan.
After that, you start to see reports saying that Teo's looking for a way out of his existing Top Rank deal. So when you come out now and say that you sent out offers to those guys, with whose money? Just based on what's been going on, it is a little hard to believe that he sent out offers to Devin or George.
So now he's enlisted the aid of veteran trainer Eddy Reynoso.
A welcome addition, and one that he needs. Teofimo Lopez on Friday confirmed that he has officially added Eddy Reynoso to his team as co-trainer with his father, Teofimo Lopez Sr., as reported by TalkSport Boxing editor Michael Benson. Lopez, 21-1 with 13 KOs, had already spent a lot of time working alongside unified super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez and Reynoso, the 2022 Trainer of the Year and longtime Canelo coach.
Working alongside? More like brown-nosing. More like kissing their ass and begging them for help.
On Friday, he posted a photo of himself, Teofimo Sr., and Reynoso, along with the following message on his X social media account. Not one, but 2 Trainer of the Year award winners in my corner, his father and Eddy. Shortly afterwards, Eddy Reynoso retweeted Lopez Jr.'s post with a quick message of his own, "Let's do it." Lopez, 27, enjoyed a rocket ship rise at lightweight, where he won a title in a convincing stoppage over then-champion Richard Comey in 2019, and then unified titles with a signature win over future Hall of Famer Vasyl Lomachenko in late 2020. At the time, Lopez was considered among boxing's ultra elite, a top 5 pound-for-pound fighter on some lists.
His fall from grace came approximately a year later, when he fought George Kambosos in late 2021.
George was his mandatory challenger at the time. The loss to him marked a setback that seemed to send Lopez spinning in and seemingly outside of the ring. A subsequent move up to junior welter has produced mixed results. From the good, a unanimous decision win over Josh Taylor to earn his current belt, to the mediocre, a split decision win over Sandor Martin, and an unimpressive, if not wide decision win over Steve Claggett in Lopez's most recent fight in June. Lopez Jr.'s tense at times relationship with his father and various personal struggles have often been aired publicly. Whether they have contributed to any of his inconsistencies in the ring can only be speculated upon, but the official enlistment of Eddy Reynoso, a steady, relatively low-key figure by boxing standards, may not only improve Lopez Jr. with expert coaching, but also a much-needed soundboard and buffer. The unofficial arrangement already seemed to be paying dividends, and even received the buy-in of the mercurial Lopez Sr. My father and Reynoso are talking together, and I think that's the best option, Lopez Jr. said of the co-trainer setup in September. I don't move without my father, and my father has definitely pushed this move for me to go into Canelo's camp, and my dad was there. It's been great. We'll see what happens. Although Lopez Jr. hasn't fought since the Claggett bout and doesn't yet have his next fight lined up, the arrival of a world-class trainer and harmony in his camp can only be characterized as positive. So far, so good.
So listen, I don't buy into any of Teofimo's crap that he sent George an offer, or that he sent Devin an offer. No, I don't believe him. You're the same guy who was trying to break away from your promoter. You clearly didn't want to fight before this year was out, and you just now hired Eddy Reynoso.
So?
I just don't get the sense that Teofimo had any intention of fighting for what remains of this year. It was his intention to sit out, so that when he now comes out claiming that he made these offers, I don't believe him. That Vasily-Lomachenko fight was about 4 going on 5 years ago. Lopez does not seem anywhere near as dynamic a fighter as he used to.
It's been said on many occasions that he needs to make additions to his corner, that his father, God love him, he can't learn anything new from his father. He needs extra help. So now he's got it, and that's encouraging going into the next year. But all the stuff about offers is a bit hard to believe, because who would have made them when you're the same guy who was trying to break away from your promoter not but a few weeks ago?
So are you with Top Rank or are you not with Top Rank? How does this work?
I don't know. Hopefully in the coming year, with the help of Eddy Reynoso, Lopez can show a glimmer of his old self and go back to being the dynamic young fighter that he used to be. Hopefully his career will have more traction in the coming year, because it hasn't been a productive one, not for him.
Hopefully. But as far as all this stuff about him making offers to George and Devin, yeah, I don't believe any of that shit.
As it pertains to Teofimo and his title, his WBO title, the WBO ordered Arnold Barboza and Jack Caterrall to fight for the mandatory position to face Teofimo Lopez. Arnold Barboza and Jack Caterrall could be on course to fight in February. The WBO Championships Committee has ordered respective parties to commence negotiations for a fight to determine the mandatory challenger at 140 to champion Teofimo Lopez and teams. In this case, Golden Boy for Barboza and Matchroom for Caterrall have 20 days to agree to terms, or the WBO will take it to purse bids. Barboza, ranked number 1 by the WBO, and Caterrall, rated number 2, have traded barbs on social media. Barboza won a tepid 10-round fight with Jose Ramirez in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, more than a week ago, and the Californian is 31-0 with 11 KOs, while Southpaw Caterrall from Chorley in the UK is 30-1, should be 31-0, 13 KOs, and is coming off a career-best 2024 that has included victories over Josh Taylor in May and reaches pro grade in October. Barboza told Caterrall on X, "I know you want top 10 only as well. We can get it on. Tell Eddie to call Oscar." Caterrall replied, "I know Frank Smith is talking to Eric Gomez, so let's see if you accept."
Stylistically, this doesn't make for a fun fight to watch. Jack Caterrall is a cerebral fighter, a mover, and a counterpuncher. In many ways, so is Arnold Barboza, or at least he tries to be.
I can't say that I think he's as fluid, being the boxer, as Jack Caterrall being the boxer. It is a little hard to imagine how this fight is going to look, who's going to be the aggressor, who's going to be the defender. It's a little hard to imagine, and it's also a bit hard to imagine that it happens, because I don't think Arnold wants to go to the UK, but I don't think Jack wants to come to America, not for that fight.
Not after all the progress he's made.
Arnold Barboza, in his last fight, racked up the best win of his career opposite the ring former unified champion Jose Ramirez. It's the best win of his career, but hardly a career best performance. Comparatively, Jack Caterrall's career best win and performance came against the man who beat Jose Ramirez, Josh Taylor,
Earlier this year.
So I feel like Jack Caterrall has more traction and more name value in the UK than Arnold has in the US. Though unbeaten, Arnold Barboza is largely flying under the radar. Most people don't know him.
Whereas Jack made headlines well over a year ago, the first time he fought Josh Taylor, and how many spectators felt Jack should have won. And by all rights, Jack should have become undisputed champion. He got his revenge earlier this year.
Which all lends itself to Jack Caterrall's profile in the United Kingdom, that there, I think he's a bigger name than Arnold is here. But will Arnold travel? Will he go to the UK for that fight?
Or will Golden Boy put up a fight to win the rights to it?
That's why I don't know if this fight is going to happen. In spite of it being for mandatory status, I don't know. And with the WBO's new rule,
Remember we talked about it the other day? That if a fighter turns down a world title opportunity, they drop him from their rank standings. There's no squatting. Not anymore.
I wonder if that new rule doesn't apply to this situation. No, it's not for a full alphabet title, but it is for mandatory status. It is for an interim title. I wonder if that doesn't apply here?
The winner of this fight, if it even happens, is not going to get Teofimo.
I don't think they are. If Jack Caterrall wins, if Arnold Barboza wins, stylistically, these are the kinds of fighters that make Teofimo look bad. Boxers and movers and jabbers. Guys who are going to step around him and step away, circle away. Those are the guys that make him look bad, and Arnold does that, so does Jack.
I think he's going to vacate, and I think he's going to move up.
I don't think he's going to stay there. I think the arrival of Eddy Reynoso to his corner might herald Teofimo's ascent to the welterweight division. So maybe they try to reschedule that Brian Norman fight?
Maybe.
Say in the spring or summer of next year. Maybe they go straight into that. I don't know. But I just don't get the sense that Teofimo is going to face the winner of Barboza versus Caterrall. There's not enough in it for him.
He never fancied that Arnold Barboza fight, even when they were both with Top Rank, and Jack is with Matchroom. Teofimo hates Matchroom.
I feel he would sooner vacate his title to move up in weight than face the winner of this fight.
Stylistically, it's no good for him, and the rewards ain't good enough, so you get to keep the WBO title a while longer. Maybe he uses his WBO Super Champion status to be fast-tracked to the Norman fight later on next year, with the confidence that he now has Eddy Reynoso in his corner.
But I don't see him fighting either of these guys.